AEW just had a sneaky setup for what could be a huge moment for All In. Let's get into that.
Scroll the script!
Welcome back, everybody, to Swerve Strickland. I'm your host, as always, Maverick. Thanks for joining me and joining me on this channel, which is an outlet for you sickos out there. Let's get right into my claim at the start of the video. Last night on Dynamite, we had a solid card. There's a quick recap photo of what we had. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 matches. A lot of matches. Promos to start. We had Will Ospreay on there. Jet and Jericho was the only downside to that, with a botch by Jericho. Outside of that little hiccup, it was a solid night. Jay White picked up the win over David Finlay in a solid match. We opened up with a great match between MJF, Speedball, Nick Wayne. MJF winning the number 2 spot in the gauntlet, which was kind of predictable, but nonetheless, it was a very fun match. Persephone and Sheeta lost to My World and Thunder Rosa. My World is continuing to get pushed. Statlander won against Viva Vaughn. We had a Hangman and Bandito segment and The Demand, which we'll get to that in a moment because that is the big thing that I want to talk about in this video. But real quick before that, the best match of the Continental Cup by far goes to Jack Perry and Moxley. They had a snippet before the match that these two men have won all the singles titles in AEW between the two of them. Great way to push this match. It was the main event and very deserving so. It was easily the best match of the Continental Cup. Not saying that there's been bad matches. Every match has been good, but this one was superb. Jack Perry had a lot of fight. He did not give up. He did come up short against Moxley in the end as Moxley moves on. But man, there were a lot of near falls, and I, at one point, genuinely thought that Jack Perry was going to pull up a monumental upset, you guys. Holy shit. That's how good this main event was. But besides all of the matches that we had on Dynamite, which is usually a bit more than we typically get, we usually get around 4 or 5 matches and then some promos for Dynamite. And usually Collision has a huge list of matches. So don't get me wrong, I enjoyed having more matches than the typical Dynamite. But the big takeaway, now going back to the start of this video, was the Demand and then the newly formed Hangman and Brodito tag team having this back and forth battle on the mic. We saw Swerve Strickland returns to AEW after he's been out helping with the brand and all. That's basically what he's been busy with. But he hinted at something pretty interesting here. He mentioned about how he has gone through all 3 of them individually in the trios champs, Hangman and Brodito. And then he got into it with Ricochet. But what really, really surprised me and keeps me guessing something monumental that could happen at All In was on his way out, Ricochet was telling him to get the step in and that he doesn't need to intervene himself in the trios championship. And that had me thinking, because why would Swerve come out there for any other reason other than that? And we all know that it's belts that if I'm not mistaken, are belts that he has not held on to yet. The trios titles. Could we see the New Day, Daybreak, it seems like what they're going by now, form a team with Swerve Strickland? That is the big question, the big takeaway from this video. Are we going to see those 3? Because if so, holy shit, you guys, they are going to be damn good as a trios team. Very, very, very tough to beat. And maybe, just maybe, they put the belts on Hangman and Brodito as a stepping stone for All In. And we see Swerve and these two team up to win the titles immediately after they debut at All In to a roaring crowd. If it's not then, it'll have to be during the tag match between the Bucks and Cage and Cope. But let me know down below what your thoughts on what happened on Dynamite last night with that segment, and whether or not you think that could come to fruition with these 3, or do you see them still interjecting themselves in the tag title match at All In? Regardless, it's going to be a new day on August 30th. Another thing that I wanted to mention for AEW, All In London, another match announced. A dream match, really. We've got Takeshita, Fletcher, and Okada in a triple threat match for the International Championship. My God, you guys, that is probably going to be match of the night in terms of pure wrestling. I mean, you got the main event too between Omega and Ospreay, and that should be a barn burner, but Fletcher right now, I'm just letting you guys know, sneak peek for the Maverick medals that I do every year. I've only done it once because my channel is still relatively new, but in February, I do my Maverick medals for year-end awards. And right now, Kyle Fletcher is a front runner for Wrestler of the Year. He is in a lot of my Match of the Year candidates in that list. And this could easily be another one of them. Let me know down below what you think is going to happen. I have this eerie feeling that we're going to see Fletcher be the one that's going to get kicked out next in the Don Callis family. Maybe, just maybe, he turns into a major babyface on this match, as maybe he loses the belt to Okada. Okada regains that title. Fletcher gets jumped by the Don Callis family. Takeshita helps him despite their differences and the fact that Fletcher attacked him not too long ago. And we see these two team up and reunite as Proto Shida. That's just a thought that I had. Let me know down below what you think on that. MJF on socials, calling himself the one true champion. This is really funny. The OTC of pro wrestling, Drainmaker goes on to say, and MJF responds, never acronym the one true champion, taking a quick shot and a little bit of shade over at WWE with the OTC, the original tribal chief, the overdrawn, way overdone, like a hockey puck cooked steak, grilled steak. The bloodline is just going to continue. We saw Zilla Fatu debut on NXT recently, and all the best of luck to him. He had a great match against MJF. I forget at what indie promotion it was, but it was a good match. However, they're not going to change his name, but with how WWE treats their wrestlers, especially on the main card, they really water them down. If this happens to him, I'm going to start calling him Nilla Fatu, short for vanilla, because he's going to be vanilla in the ring and watered down, like most WWE wrestlers are. Two more quick things. No DDT on this video as I have a very busy weekend coming up, so forgive me guys. I will give you two on Sunday's video though. ROH Global Wars Mexico is happening tonight. You're probably actually watching it, those of you who are interested in it anyway. Before watching this video, let me know down below what your favorite match was. It's going to be really good. You got Kevin Knight on the card, Kyle Fletcher, El Clone, and many, many more. Maya World, to name another. It's going to be fun. This ROH Global Wars stuff that's been happening with CMLL has been beautiful in 2026, and I'm excited to see more. And lastly, a fun little thing on the Jericho Cruise. We already talked about Kofi and Xavier Woods being on there. Well, the Jericho Cruise Oceanic Championship Tournament is going to happen. You got Indy Hartwell, Shotzi Blackheart, Lady Frost, Tamila Grace. That should be a lot of fun, and they're going to be on the cruise doing that quick little tournament. Basically, those four ladies and then the top two face each other. And then whoever wins that bracket moves on to face the champion, Natalia. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited for that. I hope that they put the Jericho Cruise broadcast matches on my AEW. That's all I had on this shorter episode of Screw to Script. Let me know down below your thoughts on the Swerve Strickland promo. Are we going to see Daybreak join up with him, or are they going to be just a duo and go after the tag titles at All In? As always, this has been Maverick, the voice for you sickos out there. Thanks for watching.